The daughter of a wealthy family in the city, her life was filled with sorrow. The reason for her unhappiness was simple. She had reached the marriageable age, and her father kept arranging various marriages for her. But what her father didn't know was that the woman had already fallen in love with a poor scholar. One night, she made a decision she would regret for the rest of her life. She ran away with the scholar. The scholar immediately made a vow. Once he succeeded in his studies and gained fame, he would come back and marry her in a grand ceremony with a sedan chair. One day, a scream came from the kitchen. The scholar rushed to see what happened, only to find that the woman, attempting to cook for the first time, had accidentally hurt her hand. At home, these chores were always handled by servants. The scholar, feeling guilty, suggested they go out to eat at a restaurant. The woman, however, insisted that he go back and focus on his studies. She returned to the kitchen and continued to prepare the meal. But little did she know, her words had become a curse. From that day on, the scholar never again took care of any household chores. From morning till night, the woman worked tirelessly chopping vegetables, cooking, chopping wood, and making fire. She believed that once the scholar passed his exams and earned a degree, everything would get better. In order to save money, the woman even began farming, while the scholar lounged under a tree, waiting for her to bring the food to him. Despite their frugality, with no source of income, the woman decided to sell her jade bracelet for money. Years of hard labor had taken a toll on her, and the once youthful woman now looked worn and weary. One day, she asked the scholar about finding a job. To her surprise, he felt that, as a scholar, he should not waste his time on such mundane matters and told her to sell the belongings her mother had left behind. Despite this, the woman chose to endure it all, and she started selling goods on the street. But then, the scholar scolded her for showing her face in public, deeming it inappropriate. At the same time, he took the money she had earned and asked her to prepare gifts because he was going to visit influential people, hoping to gain an official position. The woman, filled with hope, immediately searched for her mother's belongings. But the next day, the scholar returned with another girl and told her that the woman was just a servant in the house. In that moment, the woman's heart shattered completely. On the day the scholar married, the woman still waited in the house, hoping he would return. But after that, the woman disappeared from everyone's sight. Years later, strange things began happening in the nearby village. First, a woman inexplicably drowned in the river. Then a young girl developed pig's horns. The people involved all had one thing in common: they were all extremely humble and weak. Soon, the spiritual healer discovered the truth. It turned out that the woman hadn't just disappeared, she had chosen to take her last breath beneath a tall, old tree. Her body was hastily buried by the villagers under that very tree, which was where the yin and yang elements intersected. The woman had been a person of extreme humility in life, and by coincidence, she nurtured a demonic insect. Anyone who accidentally consumed the insect's larvae would be mentally controlled by it. If someone called them a pig, they would truly transform into a pig. After abandoning the woman, the scholar married a real wealthy girl and achieved his dream of becoming a high-ranking official. Now, he had become a bloated, prosperous man.